Writing a narrative story comes naturally for all students, right? Well, not exactly. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of students who love to tell a good story and they are ready to just dive right in. But that's not the case for everyone. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sarah's Writing Spot. I'm Sarah, and today we're going to talk about the secret to writing an awesome narrative. So let's get started. Let's first take a few steps back and talk a little bit about what is a narrative. It's much different than a lot of the nonfiction writing we do in elementary school. A lot of the types of writing that's nonfiction might include descriptive writing, persuasive writing, how-to writing, research or expository writing. There's a lot of that during the school year. Narrative falls in a completely different category. So when we teach narrative writing is just like a story. It's a story you're telling about yourself or a made up story like a fantasy. So a narrative has a problem and a solution, characters and a setting. Even the character might even be yourself if it's a personal narrative. And it always has a mixture of action, dialogue, and feelings. Now that we know the basics of writing a narrative story, what is the secret to writing one that is captivating and so gripping for your audience? Well, the secret lies in zooming in on a small moment. Well, what is a small moment, you might ask? Well, I usually tell my students a small moment is usually about a 5 to 10 minute period of time. And that might be mind blowing for students. They might think, how in the world can I write a story about something that just took place over a few minutes? And it's really hard for them to grasp that. But that's where bringing in your dialogue and talking about feelings during that moment, that's really how you can stretch and blow up that moment. But the key is picking a moment that is really small, that makes it much more meaningful. So here's an example. I use this example with my students. For instance, we wouldn't want to write about your whole week at the beach. That's a long time. That might take place over a few days or even, a week. That's not enough time to really dig in and get to the interesting parts. What we want to do is we want to pick one moment that had really strong emotions, like you were really excited or really sad or really angry or surprised. We want to pick a really strong emotion. So in my example with my students, I say, what if you got stung by a jellyfish? That would only take place over a few minutes, right? And that was really memorable. That's surely a story you wanted to share with a friend. So we're going to zoom in on that small moment and talk about what did you say, or what did the people around you say when it happened, or what did everything look like, or how did you feel? How could you describe it? And that's how we're going to chunk up and make that story awesome. Now, here are some ideas for a narrative story of zooming in on a small moment. Some of these my students have done themselves. One was getting your ears pierced. That only takes a few minutes, but man, there is a lot to talk about. That anxiety as you're sitting there waiting to get your ear punched. And then, of course, the punch itself and how you feel right afterwards. There's a lot to share about that one small moment. Riding a roller coaster, really popular with all ages of kids. Think about, again, the anxiety and fear of waiting and then finally getting on the ride and, what that feels like. First day of school, I usually tell my students, don't write about the whole day of school. Maybe just pick the moment where you were on the bus and walked to your classroom. You could do a story just from that walk of just a few minutes. How did you feel? What did you see? What did you say to people around you? First time trying a new sport? That's always fun. And of course, funny pet stories. I've had lots of students have plenty of stories to tell about a cat or a dog, something silly that their pet did. So these are just some great ideas to start with. I hope these tips will help you the next time you're writing a narrative story with your students. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend so they can use it too. As always, I hope you have a great day and happy writing.